Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Rajeev, and today with me we have Akshay and Shiwanjaly. Hey guys.
Hello Rajeev. Hello Shiwanjaly.
Hi Akshay.
Okay, so this time we will be trying to understand the structural design pattern as shown here, and they are here to ask me their doubts, if any. Up till now, we have covered creational pattern, which deals with the design related to the object creation, right? But in larger application, problem will arise from the sources other than the creational point also. It can happen the way we organize our classes, how one entity interacts against other entity. This is where structural pattern will come in picture, which provides us some tried and tested design by identifying a simple way to realize the relationship among entities. Understand that each of the designs shown here try to solve its own problem, which your application may or may not require. So let's start with the first one, which is adapter pattern here, by digging deeper into the problem which it tries to solve and the proposed solution under it. First of all, let's see what's the problem it tries to solve. Suppose you have a library which gives your object, which implements a certain kind of interface. For example, let's say a bird object is there, right? A bird object may have certain functionality like speak, fly. These kind of certain functionalities are there. This fly functionality is also implemented under different objects also, like suppose toy plane, right? And client requires that object in a toy plane interface. So you see there is a different incompatibility between the interfaces between bird and toy plane, although inherently they both have the same functionality called fly inside there. Any doubts up till now? What I'm talking about? What is the problem I'm talking about?
No doubts.
Okay. So this incompatibility which I'm talking about, this makes the library unusable for the client, right? Solution for this is to use some kind of adapter here, which converts the adaptee, in our terms is the bird object, into the target interface, which is in our case a plane, a toy plane being used by client. Thus allowing the interface of an existing class to be used as another interface. Let's quickly see the class diagram to understand what I'm talking about. So here we have client. Client is clearly calling target interface. Client is implementing the target interface, and that target interface has a certain method exposed as requests. Okay. This target interface is analogous to our toy plane class, and this request is analogous to fly. Another class which we have is adaptee, which is the main class here. Adaptee is the one class which is analogous to our bird, and specific request is again similar to the fly functionality. You can see there are two different interfaces, okay? But client wants to use that adaptee functionality into its own object. So how they will use? What is the solution here? As said, the solution is the adapter. Adapters, as said here, are used when we have a client expects some type of object and we have an object presence under a different interface. Thus, in a simple term, we will create an adapter class, which will also implement the target interface. Inside the request method of the adapter, actually we will call the specific request of the adaptee. Adaptee will be nothing but a field inside the adapter class. Let me quickly jump onto the Visual Studio to demonstrate you how adapter pattern will look. So I have moved all my classes, all my previous programs under the creational pattern, under the creational folder. I'll be quickly creating a new folder, this time structural. So let me add a project here, similar to the previous projects, whatever I have created. This time I will create a adapter project here. It will be a simple, nothing but a console application. Okay, I'll create it inside structural. Let's try to implement our class diagram, whatever we had. Okay, so I will create first of all, I will create our interface, public interface, iTarget, which will be used our client. It will perform certain functionality. Get request and this class program itself will be a client library. Let's create a adaptee class adaptee, which needs to get converted into the target interface. So it will have a certain method, string request return adaptee object. Okay, so this is our adaptee class, which needs to get converted into the iTarget interface. To convert this, I will have to create a class called adapter, as shown in our class diagram, which will be implementing iTarget. Inside this iTarget, I will have to implement its interface also. So it will be doing get request. So if you have noticed in the class diagram, what we were doing inside the get request, we will be ultimately calling the request method of the adaptee. So we have to call this method inside this get request. So to call this get request, first of all, I will have to set the private variable call adaptee, and I'll create its constructor to set its adaptee. I'll make it public adapter, and it will be accepting the adaptee object. And inside the, as I said previously, I will be calling this adaptee dot. I'll have to make it public adaptee dot request. So you see what I've done here. Ultimately, adaptee and iTarget, they both may be a different object, but since they may have the same functionality, one functionality can be converted to other using the adapter interface. So without changing the class of the adaptee, without touching our adaptee, which was our main object, without violating any of the design principles, we are able to convert it into a separate object. This is one of the very simple design pattern called adapter design pattern. So let's just test it out using our client. I'll create an adaptee here first. Adaptee I'll create our client object, target object, new adapter, and inside that adapter I will be passing this adaptee. And finally, I can call target.getRequest. So target.getRequest may have a different implementation, but at runtime we have provided this, we have binded it with adaptee object, and it will read. And if I will just to show you console write line, and running this application should give us adaptee object, even though it is implementing the target interface. So I'll just quickly run this adapter. So yeah, we have got the adaptee object here. This is our objective. So this is one of the very simplest implementation of our adapter design pattern.